Hi, welcome to Geometry Sample Lesson by Miss Ang. This is a 45-minute lesson also that I create to demonstrate my teaching style. So the essential question is, Para, is that really you? Is it really you? Because we're going to be talking about parallelogram, and these are learning standards that we're gonna also start to explore what kind of coordinate and what kind of algebraically methods we can use to prove that a quadrilateral is a parallelogram. So this will be the fourth lesson on our quadrilateral and polygon unit. We should have finished interior angles and exterior angles of a polygon, and we will start to talk about different types of a quadrilateral. We will start the lesson reading this little part from a cute little family tree story that quadrilateral have, so that it can refresh the student memory of what a parallelogram should be. And on the space, each student will draw their parallelogram and have to match it, and then I will have students go up on the board. On a smart board I usually use it, and then we will see each other's work. From then on, if the students are low function, then this is a good way for them to learn from each other. And a bonus is, while I'm doing this, student will write down the coordinate, the XY coordinate of the polygon that they create. After that, once we establish what a quadrilateral should look like or parallelogram should look like, I'm gonna hand out patty paper, which is very good tracing paper, for the student to work as a group. They will trace the parallelogram on the paper, and they will come up with different rules that what satisfy the requirement to be a parallelogram. This is a way for them to explore. They can fold the paper, they can notice that opposite sides are congruent, opposite angles are congruent, so they will actually basically come up with their properties of the parallelogram on their own. Now, once they establish that rules, we're going to be giving actual examples. So I'll have them looking at this diagram, which is a rectangle, which is also a parallelogram, but they have to convince me using the rules that they come up with. And this is very likely to be work as a partner work, and then they will share out. So I want them to use those rules that we came up with and list it here, because they have to convince me not just by, okay, it looked like a parallelogram. So number 2 is a little bit more of a challenge, because this is not how they usually draw as a straight line. This is a standard line. So I want them to explore different ideas that, hey, you can use slope, because parallelogram meaning there has to be parallel, right? So I want them to kind of, in their mind, think about different ways, because that will lead to our next lessons. In here, we're gonna be the exit questions, where we'll be drawing a quadrilateral, any type of quadrilateral, different from where they started. And then I want them to use the reason that they came up with earlier to prove or disprove whether the shape that they draw is a parallelogram or not. Now that brings to my next lesson. Since my teaching style is about explorations, and I like to start off with the lesson, the concept with the exploration that they talk about and think about what the properties of a quadrilateral have, then I'll follow up with applying the conceptual knowledge to actual questions. So I will give them the next lesson. I'll give them different type of scenario, different type of questions where they can use different methods, such as distance formula, slope, talk about angles, to prove that whether a quadrilateral is also a parallelogram. So here it is, a sample lesson of my geometry.